How would you define autism spectrum condition?
Not really sure.
Probably lack is the wrong word, but maybe a difference in the way that people communicate along a spectrum.
Well, it's certainly a disablement of your ability to communicate. I suppose the first thing is differentness.
I'm not really sure.
It's massive, isn't it? I mean, it's an enormous umbrella. You can go from anything from sort of just mild autism, which can or cannot be spotted, to somebody who's really struggles with the world as it is.
No idea.
It's where you have trouble sometimes, like having conversations and like understanding.
Well, all I know about autism is some kind of withdrawal and inability to really to understand other people's thoughts and emotions.
I think it's a mental condition that just makes the person that suffer it very shy and very difficult to socialise with other people, and very special, and loads of special needs that society don't understand, unfortunately.
Do you know anyone affected by autism spectrum condition?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I do, yep.
I do. I have some friends that have family members.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I had a couple of friends who, yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I do.
If so, in what way does it affect them?
Well, it's tough. It's tough growing up. I mean, you've got to have a lot more. You got to watch over them, and it affects your life.
She finds it very difficult to make friends because she doesn't really understand the relationship you have to develop to make friends.
Well, they're unable to communicate. They're unable to kind of express their feelings. They need supported living. They're quite a severe person, I know. It's changed their life completely, really.
I'm an English teacher, so I often discover that someone's autistic when they didn't know it before. When I ask them a question like, so how does this character feel right now? And they say, I don't know. And then they can suddenly very much shut off, not really want to be communicating anymore, feeling really uncomfortable. And other people react with kind of with shock, and I used to react with frustration. I mean, just a year ago, I found out that a boy that I was teaching had autism, but it took a couple of months for it to really emerge. And at first I'd ask a question like, how does the character feel? And the response would be, well, I don't know. And I would say, well, I'm not asking you to tell me the meaning of life. Is the character angry? Is the character sad? And of course, it's not as simple for them. So yeah, I think for them it can be quite a difficult one, difficult to make friends as well as a result.
I don't really understand, because the person I know I'm Spanish, so back there in school we have autism people with us in the classroom, so we kind of learn how to socialize with them. And he was just very shy and very reserved, if that makes sense. He didn't talk much, didn't like touching his things, he wouldn't share anything, and just a very peculiar person.
What do you think the main characteristics of autism are?
They struggle to just make themselves understood. Lots of time you'll see lots of children screaming and shouting and so on because they can't get what they want to get out. They just don't like the world as it is. They've got their own little box, and that's what they live in.
Awkwardness.
Lack of social awareness, perhaps.
Inability to deal with social situations. Inability to process too much information at a time.
Shyness, just very independent, very needy at the same time, very clever. Too clever.
How many people do you think are diagnosed with autism spectrum condition in the UK?
I have no idea whether it's millions or what. I have no idea.
I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that.
I couldn't put a figure on it, but I would say that more than before, more than say 30 years ago.
I don't know, thousands, hundreds, I don't know.
1 in 1,000, I would say.
Do you know where you'd go to get support for autism?
No.
I don't think I know. Probably a doctor.
I'd assume your GP, like the doctor.
I know someone whose child is autistic and they eventually finished up with special schools, but exactly how they found them, I don't know. I imagine that you start with the health services.
I feel like the resources are there more if you have money. I think that publicly the school system can be set up for young people in a way, but I know that there are specialist schools, but that involves being segregated from mainstream schooling, and I'm not convinced that that really helps things. Whereas I think if you have more money and you went to a private school, I think it can sometimes be easier in that respect to get the attention and all the care that can come with that.
Do you think people diagnosed with autism are comfortable with people knowing they have it, or are there loads of negative stigmas surrounding the subject?
I wouldn't.
I think I would be quite relieved if other people knew I had it, because it would account for a number of things that they might find curious.
I would imagine there's a great big negative stigma over it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if they can help and like give assistance if you need it, or just be there for you.
Do you feel well educated on the subject of autism?
Not particularly, no.
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 Not particularly, to be honest.
I don't.
I feel like I'm continually learning more. I think that I am now relatively well educated on it, but when I left university I knew nothing about it ultimately, and it was something that I saw as being a problem rather than something that exists. And I remember some pretty tense moments with fellow students who had autism and not reacting to them well as a result of the way that they were and the way that I perceived them. So now I'm way more educated than I was before.
We cover the whole of Sussex, so we're a local charity. We're just based in Sussex. We cover the whole of Sussex. Because autism is a very individualised condition, it affects everyone so differently, and so the support that we offer is very much tailored to individuals. So we work with children in support groups. We work with young people right through to adults and older people. So it all depends on the kind of level of support that somebody needs. So we've got services that are residential, which means somebody, for people who need residential care and they need staff, they need to live with staff, they need support to do lots of sort of basic things like washing and dressing and going to the loo and eating and things like that. So people who are very, very, very vulnerable and need that kind of level of sort of round-the-clock care from trained staff. And then we've got resource centres where we might have people coming in just for the day to do various things. So there might be kind of activities that people want to do, go swimming and stuff like that. The kind of thing that everybody else wants to do really in their free time. But obviously, again, with support from staff, or at least with a group of other people with autism. So there's that kind of there's that sort of mutual understanding between all of those kind of all of those service users.